Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Boiled as an Owl. This is our first run, just doing this to see what the app offers and how good it looks on the other side. Uh, I'm your host, name is Dave. Wanted to start this podcast to basically talk about recovery, sobriety, pitfalls, the actual fantastic things that happen in sobriety, and, the actual necessity for action and less talking. There's a lot of people who want to get sober and they choose the idea that they can do it on their own, and that's cool. There's plenty of people that do. Um, I really believe that if you have a serious issue with drugs and alcohol, you might not be able to do it on your own. I know for myself, I was definitely an avid drinker, avid partier, used a lot of different things, LSD, cocaine, Molly, you name it, lots of mushrooms. Love to the hallucinogens because in my mind they made me think I was connecting deeper to the God of my understanding. I also know people have a tough time with the God of their understanding. And so what ends up happening is people tend to try to go it alone in sobriety. And they end up failing. And what's crazy is like you think about AA, right? 12-step program, been around 90 years. When it first started, really good success rate. But now you got millions of people using AA and the success rate is 3%. That's crazy, you know? So I kind of wanted to create a podcast to utilize the format of a meeting, and in doing so allowing people who might not want to be in a group setting to kind of just listen to the flow of this and possibly get a sense of direction. um Maybe like, for me, I listen to people in sobriety and I actually really enjoy the literature, doing the readings, the daily reflections, stuff like that. All that stuff has really become such a piece of my life. And then the other piece of this podcast too is like, you know, how do we utilize the steps to truly do a very self-guided, and obviously you're working with a sponsor when you're doing steps, but how do we really navigate that moral inventory? And moral doesn't mean righteous or good or whatever, it just means truthful. And you want to make sure that when you do your inventory you are being truthful. Reality is subjective for everyone, and that's the truth. Like, six people can see an accident, and you're going to get six perspectives on the accident, and then there's the truth. But the funny part is, truth gets skewed by our own filter as humans and the way our brain perceives truth, whatever. So, when you have a lot of trauma, and what good practicing alcoholic or drug addict doesn't have trauma? I know for me, the trauma was what was driving the addictive nature of my drinking and my drugging because I didn't want to feel anything. So, from that perspective, we're numbing out chunks of story, chunks of like reality, that whole nine. So, it's really crucial that when you actually do the work, that you that the sobriety ends up taking place in such a fashion that you're actually allowing access to the subconscious mind to get those chunks of time back in your blackouts or your numbing or whatever. Um, I was lucky. I had a good sponsor, and I was able to do a lot of deep inner work. And it's funny because next week, on the 15th of January, I will be celebrating 5 years of sobriety. And this last year, this fourth year going into the fifth year, is one of the hardest um, years of sobriety for me. But what's kept me anchored to the world is the hope that as I get further along in my sobriety, I'm going to keep aspects of that sobriety that will essentially allow me to want a life where I don't really ever want to drink. And I'm lucky. I haven't had a desire to drink in 5 years. I mean, I literally had the Alcoholics Anonymous big book talks about the spiritual awakening. And I honestly had a profound spiritual awakening. I was in a weird place in my life, and I'll talk about that later as we go. But, again, this is a very quick trying to figure out how to do this thing. So this is kind of like, I don't know if this is an episode or more of just like a, hey, it's me, how you doing thing. But, my life was not going so well. I was in a very toxic relationship. I was just numbing out because I just did not know how to express myself. Everything that came out of my mouth was angry and vicious, and I was just in such a dark place. Um, it was funny because in my life, I was very spiritually based, lots of meditation. Um, there was a lot of like, working with a higher power. I call God. A lot of people have a problem with that. I don't. And I don't believe my God is anything better than your God. Like literally, my God is the all that is. There's no Christian piece to it. There's no Buddhist or anything like that. No Hindu attachments, nothing. I believe that God is everything or God is nothing. And I know people have a problem with, God and, oh, if God, there was a God, why would, there be so much calamity in the world? That's not how I focus on my God. My God is my navigator and my center. I don't try to push it on anybody or proselytize it because you know what? It's none of your business and it's none of my business. It's literally what I believe in and it's it. And I don't push my beliefs on anybody else because you know what? There's no need to. If you F around, you'll find out. That's how I roll. I do a lot of things that cause me to really, truly find out if what I'm doing is great or not. That said, again, it's this what I was trying to get at is that, working with that perspective of the higher power and then kind of dovetailing it in with the moral inventory of your life, that's where the magic happens. So, when you're in toxic relationships, when your life isn't going so well and things are just out of control and you don't know what to do, stop, drop, and roll. You're on fire, get out of fire. So, my spiritual awakening was me just surrendering. I had God, the gift of desperation. My situation was so desperate that I was willing to do whatever it took to get myself back to some kind of position that at least I knew that if I was in this position, I could feel grounded or connected. I was so disconnected. I was so angry. I was just projecting so much pain onto everybody. And all the people that I love just basically walked away because they're like, you're an asshole. Um, and that was that. and that was the beginning of things. And I've been saying for a while I want to do a podcast and kind of just let people see the raw nature of my particular walk, in hopes that maybe it'll help somebody down the line. So I'm going to keep this one real easy peasy. And what I was thinking about doing in regards to, more episodic things is, maybe do a meeting style, do some prayer work, serenity prayer, that kind of stuff, kind of show you how to insert it into your daily practice, and then kind of just build on that. Maybe talk about the steps and go step by step. I don't know. It's gonna be a thing. But anyway, that's that. I'm gonna leave you with that. I think this is a good introduction. And again, the show is called Boiled as an Owl because I just love that term. Every time I read that line in the big book, I just giggle. I have a giggle when I'm in a meeting and I read he was boiled as an owl. So anyway, that's that. And I will leave you with this and I hope you have a good day, and hopefully we'll build an audience and we'll have some fun. At some point I'll have some people on as well, and should be cool. So have a great day and I'll talk to you later.